All right, I see some of you guys coming in now. So I just need to make sure that you guys can hear and see me okay. This is like a new setup for me. I literally just got this microphone today to do this. So I just need to make sure you guys can hear my voice and the guitar nice and clear. I've been testing it this afternoon and hoping it's working for you guys. All right, nice. Just realized that I've been a subscriber for 14 years now. That's insane. And thank you. It's funny because like I have had this account for years now, like obviously going back, I think I started in like 2007 or something, but only decided to actually do content in the last like 2.5 years. It was in October 1st. So about 2.5 years that I've been actually, making content for YouTube and stuff. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot of work. And so thank you if you were a part of this like long before then. Most of you were not. Most of you are newer from all the videos that have been put up. So I appreciate all of you joining the channel. It's unreal to hit 200,000 subscribers. I vividly remember thinking if I could hit 10,000 subscribers, that would be insane. And now to celebrate with you guys 200,000 is just like wild to me. So I really, really appreciate all of you joining the channel. I want to answer as many questions as I can today. So please, ask us, questions, learning questions, content questions. I'm happy to demonstrate things or talk about my approaches when it comes to playing and improvising and learning, all that fun stuff. So I did this late at night so that I have no time crunch, and hopefully, a good amount of you are here, to, able to join at this time as well. So. Anyone guess what like who the influence is for my tone right now, like the patch that I have set up. Who does it sound like? If that's a small guess at all. Rat's a good guess. Not Rat, but Rat is a good guess. I think Rat took their influence from who I'm thinking of. I'm trying to compensate here because I'm not a half step down, so it's kind of weird playing everything like 1 fret lower. All right, I'm so glad so many of you are here to join at this time. So I'm starting to see some of the questions flood in, and again, I am here to answer as many questions as I can and stuff. So please do, keep them coming, and I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can. All right, so first one, which I haven't shared with you guys yet. I have not mentioned this on the channel or on TikTok or anywhere. Someone asked, what picks am I using? So the funny thing is, I haven't shared this with anyone yet, but I am using these new picks that are new to me. And long story short, I got a message on TikTok from someone who owns a guitar pick company that makes like ergonomic guitar picks. And I was a little hesitant at first, thinking like, it's a guitar pick, like what difference is it going to make, sort of thing. But they said, no obligation. Can we send you a pack of picks, which I have here, a whole variety pack of picks, and just see what you think. So I said, yeah, check them out and see what I think. And it's funny because I haven't used a different pick. I haven't used a normal guitar pick ever since. All I have used are these because I love them so much. So if you see here, I don't know if it will focus on it or not, but it's a pick that has a hole. All 3 sides are the same tip. So you basically have like kind of 3-in-1 in a sense. But your thumb and your first finger, like if you hold the pick that way, are touching the whole time. So there's actually way less tension in your hand because you're not squeezing a guitar pick. And it's funny because I actually picked up a regular guitar pick the other day, and it felt kind of weird after using these for a few weeks now. So what was kind of funny was like the initial response being like, sure, like send me a pack, I'll see what I think. And then my next email was like, oh my God, I absolutely love these. Like, we need to work together. So I was, exploring some ideas with them. I haven't shared them yet, so you guys are the first to hear about these ergonomic picks. But I noticed such a difference in my picking. It feels a lot more natural. My hand is a lot more relaxed, but I still get that same pick attack. So they're pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny. Like now when I hold a regular guitar pick, it almost feels like a little unusual to me. So. What was your initial reaction to your first Guthrie Govan video? Scared, terror, going to eBay to list my guitars. No, I remember. So it's funny. I was introduced to Guthrie through the like JTC videos way back in the day, like that kind of made him blow up and become quite popular. The what is is it? Oh, darn, I'm gonna forget it now. Oh, now I forget it. Way off, but I covered that a long time ago. The funny thing with covers is, like, the last time I have played a lot of those songs is that cover that you saw. So, most of them are not fresh in my mind at all. But so, anyways, with Guthrie, yeah, those videos, I could not believe that you could even be that good. It was like insane. And then I had a chance to meet him at NAMM. But again, this was before he was like super popular. So it was just kind of him and I chatting and talking for a little bit. And I was asking him some questions to try to pick his brain and everything. And then he was giving me these, like, he was super nice and super chill, but he was giving me these answers that were so vague that they weren't really helpful at all. But it was cool to meet him and talk to him. But that guy is unbelievable. Definitely one of my biggest influences. Oh, thank you. So, Eugene, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That is very much appreciated. You guys don't have to do that, though. So I'm happy to answer your questions, but I do appreciate the support. Of course, we'll get to your question, of course. So have a muting exercise. Your playing is not just exact, but I never hear unintended noise. Well, I'm glad you don't. Yeah. A muting exercise. So I was kind of going over this with a student the other day, actually, like just the basics, the muting when playing anything, especially now we are talking more electric guitar. It is different with acoustic guitar, but when we're talking electric guitar, the muting, say I'm playing a note on the third string on the G, the muting for under that note, so anything under the third string, is this hand's duty, is this hand's job. So it's having your fingers resting against the other string. So if I pick below them, you hear they're dead, they're muted. So I don't have to worry about those ones. Now, everything above is this hand's job, is using the right hand to mute. So that's why you'll see in a lot of my videos, like I can even dig into the strings. Now that obviously wasn't like crystal clear because I'm like going wild on the strings, but I am getting the note that I want to hear and not much else. That's just because of the hands muting everything else. It's the same thing when students or players start learning and they start doing like power chords or something like that. And you see this all the time where they play a power chord and they're being very, very careful to like only hit those two strings because they don't want to hear. But that's not the way you do. You mute the other strings so that you do hit them. Or at least you can hit them. You don't have to. Like, don't, aim to do it. But you mute them so you don't have to worry. And then your right hand can be a lot more relaxed. And again, it's this hand that's muting everything underneath and this hand that's muting everything above. Obviously, it takes a lot of practice. As I'm going down the strings, you'll see this hand is kind of muting more and more and more as I'm going down. So when I'm down to the high E, the first string, my right hand is muting all the other strings. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that, clears that up a little bit. Definitely feel free to keep asking more questions. The brand of the picks that I was talking about, they're called Bog Street. Actually, I have this cool sticker here. they sent me this here. Bug Street. So again, I haven't mentioned these guys on the channel yet, just because I want to kind of figure out what we have in store. But I absolutely love them. I haven't used anything else since, and probably won't, because it's just so comfortable. There is, I don't know if this will, yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see it maybe in the light there, but there is like a texture on the middle too. So I find there's like a nice grip that the pick's not slipping all over the place in your hands. And they come in crazy thicknesses too. This one here, I swear this one's like 3 millimeters or something like that. So this one's crazy. But again, since there's that hole in the middle, it doesn't feel huge, and then your hand still feels relaxed. You can hear the attack is still there, right? But my hand it literally feels like as if I'm picking with just my thumb and first finger, when you do that when you don't have a pick around. So I really, really like them. All right, let's keep getting into questions. I haven't done one of these live streams in a while, so I love getting on here, and I want to do this more often as well. Oh, here's a great question. What is the difference between alternate, economy, selective, and tremolo picking? Great question. Okay, let's one at a time. So alternate picking is when alternate picking, just picking down and up. Now for strict alternate picking, you would pick down and up no matter what. So when you think of guys like Paul Gilbert, John Petrucci, those guys, and myself, that is my approach. Strict alternate picking. If you're moving a string, if you're skipping across a string, it doesn't matter, down and up, if the rhythm is consistent. So if we're talking like straight 16ths, everything is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So economy picking is technically a little more efficient. Oh, I want to make sure I don't lose your question here. Economy picking is technically a little more efficient. Guys like Frank Gambale, who's another Kiesel player, and Yngwie Malmsteen, and I think Sinister Gates of Avenged Sevenfold is also at least a really strong economy picker, whether he does it, all the time or not. But economy picking is basically, most of the time you're kind of alternate picking, but then when you change strings, you pick in the direction you're going, meaning that if I'm going from one string down to another, I start that next string down no matter what. So it doesn't matter if the last picking motion was upstroke or downstroke. It doesn't matter if I'm going down to the next string, I pick it down. If I'm going up to the next string, I pick it up. So you would be alternate picking while you're on the same string, but then when you change strings, it's in the direction you're going. Now, I myself do not economy pick. I am terrible at it, like absolutely terrible, because I just do not practice it, which is also another misconception with guitar, that once you play long enough, you're just good at everything. You only get good at what you practice. So I am not strong at economy picking. To me, it's very, very awkward, but again, just because I don't practice it. But obviously for guys like Yngwie, Frank Gambale, Sinister Gates, it clearly works. It's clearly a great technique. And you could almost think of it as like a cross between, it looks like, especially when you watch like Frank Gambale, it looks like a cross between sweep picking and alternate picking. Selective picking is, guys like Tosin Abasi and, oh darn, I'm going to forget the guy's name. He's amazing at this technique. He's a big guy on Instagram and TikTok. Oh, darn, I forget his name. Selective picking is where your left hand is doing, or your fretting hand, I should say, is doing more hammer-ons, and then you are selecting which notes you want to pick. So you're not picking all of the notes, and then that creates kind of like a percussive sound. I really like the sound of it. It's not something I really ever sit around and mess with, but it is a cool technique. Tremolo picking is typically referring to just picking typically on one string as fast as you can. Now, you can move between strings. Kind of think of like One by Metallica at the end, or think of Eruption when... So that's tremolo picking, where if you asked me, how many how many pick attacks did you get for the E there? I don't know. I'm just picking as fast as I can, and that's tremolo picking, where it's just... And Eddie always does that in his solos, or not always, but at the end. It's a great way to end a solo. So that, hopefully that helps. That's the difference between all those picking techniques. Let's keep going. Oh my God, I missed a lot of questions here. Can you show your right hand picking motion at slow tempo and shred tempo? Okay, so it's kind of funny that you asked that, just because on my Patreon page, that was literally the video I just uploaded 2-3 days ago, was a Patreon member of mine sent me a 3D printed device. It's on one of the guitars over there that holds the phone, and you can record your hand in slow motion. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can always sign up for my Patreon page for a 7-day free trial and check it out. It's the last video just from a couple days ago. But because since I get a lot of questions about my picking, and to be honest, after playing so long, there's a lot of things I just don't know what I'm doing, right? It's like, I don't know if you guys saw that interview Yngwie did with Rick Beato, but I related to that part greatly, where Yngwie said someone asked him how he holds his pick, and he said, I don't know, like this. It's just like, you don't think about it after a while, right? So it was actually really cool and interesting to be able to slow it down and kind of see what's going on. Yes, Charlie Robbins. Thank you, Max. That's who I was thinking of. That guy's crazy at selective picking. Definitely check out his stuff. Another Kiesel guy. Shameless plugs of anyone who plays Kiesel. If you play a Kiesel, your question will get answered. But darn, I got distracted here. Darn, what was I talking about? Darn, I must have skipped over the question, but the slow tempo. Check out that video. And it was actually really cool to be able to see kind of what the hand is slowed down and everything. And see, because I get asked about like pick slanting and stuff like that, and to be honest, it's not something that I ever pay any attention to or try to do intentionally. So it was kind of cool to see slow down what everything was looking like. I did see, as I'm shamelessly plugging Kiesels here the whole time, I did see someone mention Kiesel. Is Kiesel your favorite guitar brand? Yeah. I think I just answered that in the last couple minutes, but yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot, like ever since, this channel growing and getting bigger, and especially on TikTok, because on TikTok, I have like 285,000 followers or something like that. I have a lot of brands reaching out to me, obviously, for the exposure and just, happy to work with me. Kiesel is the one brand that I reached out to them. I bought the Jason Becker Numbers guitar that you guys have probably seen. I absolutely love it. I love the customization element of their guitars, that you can get exactly what you want, and you don't have to play the same guitar as me, right? So I think they're great. And yes, they are expensive guitars, but I think for what you get, like a USA made custom guitar, I do not think you can beat it. So I am a huge fan of their guitars. This is absolutely insane to me to have this guitar. It is an absolute beauty. And I absolutely love their guitars. I don't think they can be beat. I actually thought of that the other day. It would be a funny video title. Kiesel Guitars, an unbiased review, in brackets, they're the best guitars in the world. So Stainless steel frets versus nickel. So all the Kiesels come with stainless steel unless you option them otherwise. This guitar has stainless steel jumbo frets, and the other Kiesels have the medium jumbo frets. I like both, but I kind of like the medium jumbo frets. So nothing against these jumbos. I do like them, but I think with stainless steel, you still get the crispness and bending ability on medium jumbo frets that you would with jumbo frets. Oh, thank you, Alex. Again, you guys don't have to do that. Don't feel like you got to send any money here. I appreciate the support, but yeah, can I play a little bit of Dream Theater? Oh man, on the spot. Man, what are we thinking here? Some Dream Theater. I got it. As I said, when you don't play covers in a while, they're not fresh to go. I think that was it. Oh man, what other Dream Theater do I know off the top of my head without grabbing a 7-string? Oh man, I'm just going blank because I'm in front of the camera right now, but I love Dream Theater. Oh man, I can't believe See, this is what happens. You get asked on the spot if you know stuff. Like this is exactly what happens when you're like playing in front of like a group of people. Like you're at a party and they're like, "Hey, there's a guitar, like pick it up, like play us something." And it's like you've never played a song ever in your life. It's just like, I don't think I know any music. It's annoying when that happens because like I love Dream Theater stuff. Oh man, I should see if I wrote. No. See? Oh, it's crazy. You know what's good though? I have the computer here, so I can always like, search up some tabs and just read through them if you guys have some requests. I don't know why, but I think for Dream Theater sometimes I like playing their 7-string stuff, like the Glass Prison. I think Awake is probably one of my favorite albums. You have to test heavy rhythm tones with that riff. Like that's just, you go into a guitar store, you put on a high gain setting. That's what you do. Also the easiest Dream Theater riff ever. So it's, that's nice too. Man, I really appreciate you guys sending these super chats. You guys are being very supportive. You don't have to do that though. So I do appreciate it. So let's see what he said. Hey, Jamie, I've been wanting to find an instructor, but it's slim pickings locally. Any advice for finding, choosing an instructor? Absolutely. So it's hard. It is. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It's like any profession or any, contracted work. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of bad ones. The nice thing nowadays is that with TikTok and Instagram and everything, you can find people online and you can do online lessons. So for those of you who don't know, like before the pandemic, I was teaching at a local guitar store close by. I had my daily schedule and just of any students who, kind of walking off the street and want guitar lessons. When the pandemic started, I started posting some videos to TikTok, and then I started getting all these requests for lessons, and so I originally started to kind of like plug the spots around my regular teaching schedule because they were having a tough time getting new clientele coming in, and I was getting all these requests, and it just kept going and going and going. Very, luckily, that I ended up leaving that store and just doing it privately. I still teach 5 days a week, and it's totally independent. And I have students from all over the world now. It's absolutely insane. It still blows my mind. And every time a new student starts, I'm always like, so where are you from? Because it's like, it's really cool to just know where everyone is. I've literally had students like all across Europe. I've obviously all across Canada and the US. I have students in Mexico. I've had students in the Middle East. I had a student in Saudi Arabia, which was like, again, just wild to me when you go from teaching at a local place that like, a 20-kilometer radius is where everyone comes from. And now all of a sudden you're teaching someone in Saudi Arabia. It was just like pretty wild. So the point that I'm getting at is that you can find people online who are more your style, more, look for players who play the way you want to play. Right. So that's, one of my most viral videos of when you sign up for guitar lessons after being self-taught. That's the whole joke in that video. It's not at all making fun of the student. I would never have a premise making fun of the students, making fun of the teacher, that someone comes in and knows how to play and has some technical ability, and then the teacher's like, well, here's a G chord. It's like that's unfortunately what happens a lot of the time. So you have to find people who play the way you want to play, and then they obviously know the path and the road that it takes to get there. I I don't subscribe or believe in people who say they know how to get to a point but have not gotten there themselves. Like that to me just makes no sense. It's like, oh, I can show you how to play like Steve Vai. Like I can't even come close myself, but I could show you how to do it. It's like, you don't know what it takes to get there. You just don't. So find someone who plays the way that you would like to play. They know exactly how to get there. Am I self-taught or did I have a guitar teacher? I was very, very fortunate to have guitar teachers from a young age. I think I started lessons, I don't know, 8 years old, 9 years old, something like that. I think 8. And I had, teacher after teacher, all in the same lesson center, which was pretty crazy, who just was, so inspiring and insane players. Like we had a very fortunate group around this area, and really pushed me and inspired me and stuff like that. So no, I would not consider myself self-taught at all. I had, teachers growing up. And then I also attended Musicians Institute in California. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship there after winning a guitar competition. I was playing in a professional setting before going to Musicians Institute, but it's definitely an incredible school to learn and to like hone your skills. But also, especially at a young age, I was obsessive about learning the guitar, obsessive. And to a point, I would never recommend to anyone else to do the same thing. But I just enjoyed it so much, and I was just always constantly looking for new information or new ways of doing things, or new players to check out, and so I did learn a lot on my own as well, but I would never call myself self-taught. Yeah. can you play some of the sections of Paul Gilbert's Tokyo solo? I'd have to watch that. I don't know exactly like that solo specifically. I'm sure it's awesome. Paul Gilbert's like one of my favorites. So I wouldn't know it, but I will assume there is a lot of this. And okay, that was just like a bad Paul Gilbert impression, but you get the point, which was meant as a joke, by the way. Oh man, just picked up the guitar at 31. Picked the guitar back up, so I assume you played when you were younger. But man, one thing, keep this in mind: everybody, everybody, including myself, including everyone way above me, Guthrie Govan, all those guys. It's a journey. We're all on the same journey, which is just trying to get a little bit better at the guitar every day, every week, every month, right? So there's still stuff that, I would bet every dollar I have that Guthrie Govan is still practicing hard today of stuff that he's trying to get better at, right? Or the same with Tim Henson and, Paul Gilbert and all these guys. So everyone's on a journey. You want it to always look like that, always getting better and stuff like that. So just enjoy day to day playing the guitar, practicing, trying to learn as much as you can. Don't compare yourself to others. You have no idea how much time they've put in or how much they've practiced or any of that stuff. Just enjoy it. Just have fun. The more you enjoy it, the better you're going to get. You're never going to get good at anything you don't enjoy doing. So if there's that's another common thing with learning the guitar that I think is a misconception is, if you don't enjoy doing something, say you're, not too thrilled about learning, I don't know, all your modes or something like that at the moment, then don't play other stuff, learn other stuff that you're like passionate about and that you really want to get good at. So never let it be a chore. You can always come back and learn the other stuff that, is the important stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of counterintuitive to a lot of people, but I would highly suggest that just because, again, you only get good at stuff that you enjoy doing, right? So just have fun and play. Thanks for the vid showing off and turning on the second mic in THU. Yeah, I as you saw from the thumbnail of that video, I felt like an idiot, but that's what I'm using right now. I'm using the 5150 and the THU, the second mic turned on, and the phaser, the what's it, the MXR Phase 90, obviously to get that eddy tone, and some delay and reverb, to get that. I have not played today, and I can feel that. Oh my god. My hands are like stiff. Am I still using? No. So I was using GarageBand for all of my tones for the longest time. even like the Tender Surrender cover I did. I think the Technical Difficulties cover I did, like, I was still in GarageBand for all of that stuff. And then I switched over to the Neural DSP Soldano plugin. I really like that one. I have no affiliation to them at all. That's why it's never like really promoted on the channel. And then now the THU just has like so many offerings and every amp and pedal you'd ever want and everything. So it sounds amazing, and you can dial up some like really, really crazy tones. So I've been using that for the last few weeks at least, ever since I figured out that second mic on the cab trick. Any recommendations for smallish room studio monitors? I wish I could kind of show you guys what I'm using here, because I went to the store to buy studio monitors, and I was going to buy the Yamaha, the 5-inch Yamahas. I forget like the exact model name now, but the, Yamaha 5s. And I was set on getting those. I ended up walking out with the IK Multimedia. I think they're, is it iRig or not? No, not iRig. But they're little studio monitors. They look like little computer speakers. Like they're like this big. They're on my desk here, and but they had them plugged into the computer in the store, and I was just blown away by how good they sounded. And they have tons of bass. I think I even have like a bass roll off on where it's like almost too much, right? And plenty loud. I'm lucky the neighbors are not too close to us, because plenty loud. And every day I'm just like cranking them up. But I love these things. They're a little expensive. Like they weren't real. I don't think they were any cheaper than the Yamahas. They're much smaller, but I think the sound is amazing. So I would definitely check out those. I think they come in 2 sizes, and the ones I have are the smaller ones. But those are great for, either being a little more portable or for your smaller spaces like this room here. You don't want to get like big 8-inch cones for the speakers in a room that's smaller. It's too much, and it actually won't, give you the clear, monitoring sound that you're looking for that size. Sorry, that must have been loud. What artist got you into guitar? Oh man, that is going back many, many years. Okay, this is gonna be a little embarrassing, but like when I was little, like we're talking like 2, 3 years old, I would fake play the guitar to Elvis. And no, I'm not that old, by the way, that like Elvis was what's popular at the time. But yeah, going back to that age, I think Elvis might have been the first influence. And then for real guitar players, Clapton, there was a brief hint. It was all thanks to my dad, actually. My dad, he doesn't play guitar at all, has never played the guitar, but he loves great guitar players. So as soon as I started showing an interest, I liked what Clapton was doing. He's like, oh, you have to check out Jimmy Page. Oh, you'd have to check out Slash. Oh, you have to, and then so it was like literally Clapton, and then Page. Page is still a huge influence on me. I absolutely love Jimmy Page. I kind of hate how he gets ragged on for being like sloppy in 1969 with a Les Paul down to your knees. But anyways, so yeah, Jimmy Page, Slash, of course. Slash is one of my favorites. And then my dad was like, oh, well, you'll like Eddie Van Halen. And as soon as I saw Eddie, it was just like, oh my God, like my whole world changed, right? And then after that, it was Satriani, Vi, Paul Gilbert, Jason Becker. It just went on and on and on. Guthrie, so but yeah, that's how I got into guitar. I'm glad you thought I played that well, the mock Paul Gilbert solo. Thank you. I will take that. And if this is uploaded afterwards, don't go back and watch it. But I was just making the joke that Paul Gilbert has like definitely some signature licks, right? And so whenever I do any of those like shred parodies, the Sultans of Shred or any of the other ones, like Paul Gilbert's one of those guys that you can kind of include some of those. It just has those like awesome Paul Gilbert sounds. I really appreciate all the very kind comments. You guys are awesome, and thanks again. Like I want to just keep saying it that just reaching 200,000 subscribers is absolutely insane. So I really, really appreciate all of you, the support, the likes, the comments, all that kind of stuff. I don't usually mention it in the videos, like asking for all that kind of stuff, but I really appreciate everyone who engages with the videos. And I always try to engage back and answer questions you guys have and stuff like that. I always, ever since day one, I want it to be like a community, right? And it's never in any of the tutorial stuff, me telling you how you should play the guitar or anything, because I don't believe in that. I think the most important thing with the guitar is finding your own voice with it, your own way of playing, finding how you like to do things is incredibly important. So we're all just like sharing things and having fun and celebrating the guitar together. That's really the main goal always, right? Also, maybe throughout this live stream, if you guys want to see any other guitars, if you want to, I'm happy to grab them. If you shout out some of your favorites that you've seen me use on the channel, we can always switch some stuff up here. I've never done like a guitar collection video on YouTube, even though those are very popular and common. But we can do a mini one if you guys are interested. Hey, Jamie, I don't honestly have a question. I'm just loving your channel, your skill, and your sense of humor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm grateful that you're here and everything. So I really do appreciate that. You guys are the best. Who can name it? There you go. You got it. The shut up, we know you can play. I appreciate it. I get the reference. Okay, I get the reference. I'm hoping it's the reference. Great song. Oh, no way. You used to take lessons from me? 18 years ago. Yeah. Jesus, I'm old. Back when I was 40. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Where did you take lessons from me? Was it 18 years ago? Was it at Cosmos? Was that Durham Music? Durham Music? Holy smokes. So true story, I started teaching at Durham Music, yeah, in the basement. I started teaching there when I was 15, and I knew nothing about teaching. Hopefully you were not one of my first students I had there, because it was like this is how I got the job there. This is totally true. They were having a fair at the mall, like a job fair, or not even a job fair, like to promote activities for kids, like to promote music lessons and dance studios and all that kind of stuff. And the teacher that I used to take lessons from, I heard that he taught there. So I went to the booth just asking if he still teaches there. And they said, oh, you used to be a student of his, like you should come by for a job. And I was 15. I was thinking I shouldn't be teaching guitar. And I came in and gave him my resume, which had nothing on it because I'm 15. And the owner was like, yeah, you can start on Monday. We'll give you some students. And, I had to kind of quickly learn how to teach and how to convey ideas and how to get someone else to be able to do what you're doing. Because probably like for many of you, if I tell you to play a C chord, you probably haven't given much thought to every little nuance of how to play a C chord. You just do it, right? So then it's like, oh, how do you get someone to be able to do that? And you figure all that stuff out. So that's wild that you took lessons from me in Durham Music. That's crazy. And thank you for being here. That's insane. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, you thought that was David Lee Roth Band? That makes total sense. Oh, I don't know if I'd remember it, but oh darn. No. Darn, how's that go? I love that Ladies' Night in Buffalo. See, I'd have to look at the tabs again. Darn. But I love that song so much. I don't think that's it. I love that album though. It's so good. Man, you guys are the best. I appreciate all of you spending time with me tonight. This is so cool. So thank you. I'd like to humbly request some acoustic at some point. The funny thing is, the last couple live streams that I've done, I've just used the acoustic because the sound is so much easier to deal with. I was trying, literally all afternoon, I was trying to figure out how to get you guys to hear my direct plug-in sound. So I was watching all these YouTube videos and downloading all this kind of stuff to make it work. So it's just funny. It's like, can we hear the acoustic? It's like, which of course you can. I'm not laughing at that, but it's just like, finally got the electric working. Yeah. Hey Jamie, are you using a neural plugin for this? No. So this is the THU from Overloud. I said earlier that I was using the neural Soldano plugin for a while. I really like I really like that plugin. I think it sounds awesome. A lot of my covers are that plugin, up till now at least, just because the THU I really dig the sound of and the options. It's insane. No, don't take it back. I was kidding. I was making a joke, but it's just like, it's funny. Actually, I got this microphone today for this live stream, literally, and I'm wanting to test it out this week to see how it handles recording the acoustic guitar. I don't post a lot of acoustic stuff on my channel. I love playing the acoustic guitar. I love doing fingerstyle stuff and playing that style. So it will be fun to kind of, have that excuse to do a bit of a different style. Why do you use your Kiesel Les Paul so rarely? So two reasons. First of all, that guitar is absolutely gorgeous. That is like a work of art to me. So I actually do play it a lot. I've been recording and making more original music recently, and I've been using that guitar for a lot of it. The main reason is I keep it a half step down and then sometimes in drop C sharp. So then it just doesn't, work for as many songs as a standard tuning guitar would, obviously. That's the main reason. I love that guitar. I'm also a big fan of single cut, Les Paul style guitars. So I was super excited to get the Kiesel version, of a Les Paul style guitar, and they absolutely kill it. That guitar is insane. So if you want, I could always grab it. We could check it out. Why do you use your Kiesel? Oh, sorry, same question. Maybe I should read them first before I start answering. Can you listen to a song I made? It's called Parallel and it's on my channel. Absolutely. Just so I don't forget, comment that on one of my videos just so I see it afterwards, and I will go to your channel and check it out. I love watching of course everyone play music, but like I watch a lot of guitar content, and even if it's not like purely guitar, it doesn't matter, but just I like checking out people's stuff. So and I always leave comments and stuff like that. So yeah, comment that and I'll definitely check it out and let you know what I think. Please show off the Kiesel Single Cut. What are the biggest differences between the Kiesel and a Gibson Les Paul? Let me grab the guitar. Let's make a little switch here. So I don't want to deafen you guys by unplugging this. All right, let's grab it. Turn the amp back on. Ready? Oh, wait. I was saying drop C sharp. I'm going to test you guys one more time with who can name the song. Anytime I'm in drop C sharp, that was a bit of a giveaway, but this is one of my favorite drop C sharp riffs ever. Anyone? Anyone know it? Anyone name that awesome riff? There you go. You got it. Yeah, so this guitar, look at that. Look at that thing. It's just insane. So when I was speccing this one out, I was actually stuck on the finish for a while. I wasn't sure what to do. I was going to go like an orange burst or something like that. And then once I saw the flame spalted maple, like, you know, natural, no finish, it just has like the gloss coat on it, I was like, oh, that's the way to go. It is absolutely beautiful. With Kiesel, they use like a tongue oil for the necks, and that's the smoothest finish on any neck I've ever tried. The only thing that like could come close is Music Man's finish is really, really nice, but I would still take Kiesel over top. Why not just get a Les Paul? Because this is better. This is better than, this is what Gibson wishes they could do. It's true. This is what, like, first of all, it's just the stainless steel frets. Look at this curve at the back of the neck, the cutaway. If you see that neck joint, compare. And by the way, there's a Gibson Les Paul back there, but I play this one all the time. It really is like what Gibson wishes they could do. It really is, you know? Just starting like trash talk on guitars, but between companies, I mean. I think this, when it was fully spec'd with, and again, flame spalted maple, can't speak tonight. I think American, it was like 2,900, I'm pretty sure. So again, go to the Gibson custom shop and ask them to build you a custom one-of-a-kind guitar and see if it's $2,900. I will bet right now it's not. And I will say it. It's not going to be as nice as this. It's just not. I love this thing. It's crazy. And by the way, it's lithium pickups, Kiesel lithium pickups, which I wanted to try in this guitar. And it's funny because online the Kiesel lithium pickups, like they get a lot of hate for some reason. And then every single time I use this guitar in a cover, everyone's like, what pickups are those? What pickups are you using? It's like the lithiums. They sound really, really good. That or the numbers Kiesel. Now that's tough just because, it's Jason Becker. He's one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites. And so that guitar is like pretty sentimental to me. That's also why I bought it. First of all, when you buy it, part of the proceeds go towards Jason to like help him with his medical bills, which is, happy to do it, right? So that I wouldn't normally buy like a signature guitar, or at least a very popular signature guitar. But when it's Jason, it's like, yeah, no, I'll support Jason for sure. So I love that guitar very much. I have an electric guitar and a PC. What should I buy to make and record the sounds you make? It's a great question. Nowadays, the options that are out there are just insane. It's unbelievable as electric guitar players nowadays. Uh, the options that you have for tone, it's unreal. So you would want to get an interface, and you can get them for fairly cheap nowadays, like $100 or something like that. And you can definitely find options that are cheaper as well, but get a good interface to plug your guitar into the computer, because you want low latency and all that kind of stuff. And then you can get, plugins, and, Neural DSP makes some great ones. The Overloud THU is awesome. There's even a GarageBand, yeah, it's the SLO 100 is what I used for quite a while, and still use, but just I'm in the THU phase right now. But yeah, it's amazing. So for an interface, $100, plugin, that's the thing. Like for the SLO 100, you're getting a tone that is almost indistinguishable from the Soldano head, which is like what, $4,000 or something like that, and you're paying $100 to get, and they go on sale a lot of time as well. So it's just like you get this amazing tone for pretty cheap. So yeah, do something like that, and then you can either buy studio monitors or headphones, and crank it up and have some fun. Do I like Buckethead? Yeah, I'm not as familiar with Buckethead's catalog. I know the catalog is like immense. Like he puts out a record every 6 days or something like that. uh, if you haven't, because a student showed me that recently. A student was like, "Hey, check out Buckethead's discography," and it was just like, more albums than the typical artist puts out songs. But his playing is absolutely insane, in every way. His rhythm, his composition, his tone, like just he's an insane player. I don't know why I haven't gotten more into his stuff. I should. But yeah, absolutely admire his playing for sure. How much was the red Kiesel guitar? Okay, let's switch it up again. We'll do a little guitar tour here. This is always fun. Wow, is the SLO 100 $5,000? That's insane. I mean, it's a great amp, but 5,000? It's funny, this guitar has been like a little polarizing, a little bit. I was actually expecting more people to be a little against the headless design. This guitar though is easily one of my favorites I've ever owned, and it's kind of funny. I know it sounds kind of silly or naive, but when I was designing this guitar, like I was thinking more like crazy looks, and it's gonna be red, like because those last two Kiesels you saw are so like elegant and beautiful and like work of art. This guitar is just like screaming shred and just out there. And obviously, if you're as a content creator, if you're scrolling through TikTok or YouTube or something like that, and you see this pop up, it makes you stop and hopefully watch it. So I was kind of focused on the looks and the sound and everything. And then it was funny though, when I actually got it, it's like almost I forgot that it's a Kiesel and it's going to be like of the highest craftsmanship. And I was like, oh my God, this thing plays like absolute butter. Again, don't know why I was surprised by that, but just this thing literally plays like effortlessly. It's really amazing. And it's a 7th string. Sorry, I got a little distracted there, but love this guitar so much. And it, I was always kind of on the fence, but with headless designs, I wasn't totally sure how I felt about them. But with this look, like this design, I feel like it matches it perfectly and sits on you so comfortably. Like it's totally balanced. Really, really nice. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I got a little distracted. I don't want to miss you guys' questions here. A guitar for people with 6 fingers on their fretting hand. I'd like to see how you sound on a $200 Harley Benton. My guess is just as good. Thank you. It's all in your hands and the amp sounds. I do. I first of all, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I do agree. It's in your hands. Like that. I really do believe tone is right here. And some people don't like to hear that. But yeah, no, I think tone. Like obviously, as you said, having a good amp or having a good set of pickups in the guitar makes a big difference. But one of my favorite solos that I've ever posted was with the Donner guitar that was sent to me for a TikTok that was like, yeah, 200, $300 or something like that. I think it's $300 Canadian. Um, and I love that guitar. That guitar plays amazingly. So, and I actually use that all the time. That's the guitar I used for the Patreon video where we were slowing down my picking. So, um, yeah, and also, with guitars, as you guys probably know, like, it's not pay more, always get more, right? Like there's plenty of guitars out there that are a couple $100 and they're really nice. I really do think it's all about your connection with the guitar. When you pick up the guitar and you start playing it, does it inspire music? Does it inspire you to play in a certain way? That's usually why people have multiple guitars and they have a Strat and a Les Paul and all that kind of stuff, because it makes you play differently. And it makes you, make different musical decisions, right? So I can always grab that guitar. It's right over there if you guys are interested in seeing it and some of the mods that I've done to it. But it's, yeah, like, again, it's one of my favorite guitars and it's $300 new. And then I just put in neck and bridge pickup from DiMarzio. Jamie, will you ever play Buckethead stuff? Yeah, I've gotten that question quite a bit. I keep meaning to, because I also got another guitar sent to me for a TikTok that's an all white. You guys might have seen it on the channel because I did a review of it. All white Les Paul, and I was like, oh, this is just perfect for Buckethead. It's just I've been so busy that it just, like, that idea has been on the back burner, but absolutely want to do that, and then also allow me to dive into his music and try some of his stuff out. Absolutely. By the way, I love the Sultans of Swing solo of different guitar players in one video. It really inspired me to try to become a better guitarist somewhere around. Man, that I appreciate that so much. Like, that is always one of my favorite comments to ever get, is that, inspire in some way people to either play the guitar more, or to push themselves, or to just pick it up more often. That's always literally my favorite comment. So thank you so much. I love hearing that. Is there a right way to hold a pick, or is it just personal preference? I don't think there's a right way to hold the pick. And the reason I say that, there's the way I hold a pick. There's the way Steve Vai holds a pick. But if you look at all the great guitar players, they all hold the pick differently. So I am very, very careful, and what's the word I'm looking for? I don't often change students' picking position technique unless it's holding them back. Unless you feel like, okay, this, something's not working, then we can try different things. I had a student up until a few months ago, and he was a teenager, and he held his pick with his middle finger and thumb, which is, if I were to teach you how to hold a pick, I would not suggest that normally. I would suggest using your first finger, right? But he held it with his middle finger, and the guy could play insane. The guy was like such a good player, and it did not hold him back in any way. So it's like, why change that? Why mess with that? Even for tapping, he was able to just use his first finger, kind of like Eddie Van Halen, versus me, I like to use my middle so that the pick's ready to go. But yeah, so, he held his pick in an unconventional way, but you should have heard him play. It was crazy. Look at Eddie Van Halen, everything's like this. You look at Marty Friedman, everything's like this for some reason, which, like, is... No, I can't play it. It just fits this guitar so perfectly. That would be like the ultimate, challenge for that cover, is to hold the pick like Marty and play it. But anyway, so my point is, yeah, don't worry about, like, if it's working for you, then keep going. If you feel like you're getting stuck or something, try different things. And yeah, don't worry about how everyone else does it. Keep in mind, and I think this would apply for a lot of you guys, I know it applies to me. A lot of my favorite guitar players, my personal favorites, are the ones who could not care less how everyone else plays the guitar. When you think of Hendrix and Eddie and Tim Henson and all these guys, where it's like they're just putting conventional playing out the window. They're just like deciding, I'm going to do it totally different and not care what anyone else does. And they're usually the ones who set the new standard and inspire a generation and everything. So yeah, don't be afraid to do things your own way. Ah, darn. Yeah, see, I forget all this stuff. It's just crazy. I wish I, wouldn't it be nice to just retain every solo you've ever learned? Oh man. I don't know if I know any more of that or not, off the top of my head. I'm half guessing at this point, but I should like retain Jason Becker stuff for sure. My excuse is I'm on the wrong guitar, but don't ask me to pick it up. Do you know anything about Legator guitars? Do they have thin necks like a Schecter? I had a student who bought a Legator guitar. I have never personally played one, but they look great. They definitely look great value for the price as well. Like you can get some really cool guitars, which I think are for good value at that price. But I have never played one. And the funny part about saying, do they have thin necks like a Schecter? The only Schecter I remember playing is and this is years and years ago, was the Jeff Loomis 7-string. And the thing that stuck out to me was the gigantic neck on that. So I'm sure a lot of Schecters have thin necks, but that one was a baseball bat. I was playing a baseball bat on that guitar. And I was so surprised for Jeff Loomis, of all guitar players, because I love his playing, that he had such a thick neck on that thing. But yeah, so never played Legator guitars, but I'm sure they're awesome, especially for the price. Can you do a video reacting to the Do on Omegle? Is that how you say it one day? Yeah, I've had the idea of doing some reaction videos, but I've kind of steered clear of that just because it's so common on YouTube. I would be happy to, and I think it would be a lot of fun. Also, it'd be like the easiest content to create ever. Just watch a video and react. But um, so if you guys actually would like reaction videos, I would be happy to do that. But I've kind of purposely steered clear of that. Just to not do like the same old stuff, if that makes sense. Is it weird switching from a 7-string to a 6-string? Sorry, 1 second. So at first, absolutely. I remember when I got my first 7-string, which by the way, I still have that. It's one of the guitars sitting over there. I should show you. It's a guitar I don't usually use on the channel very often, but I got that guitar when I was like 14 or something. Yeah, I think I was like 14. And that thing is an absolute beast. So sorry, I'm seeing some questions. I'm trying not to get distracted. When I first got that 7-string guitar, I played it and only that guitar for a week, and then you go back to a 6-string and you feel like you have absolutely nothing in your hand, like, you know. So it's yeah, at first it's really weird, but then after a while, you know, you can go back and forth between them, right? Practice like everything else, right? Just the more you do it. Thank you, Amir, my student Amir here, which, by the way, check out his channel. He's got some wicked covers that he's posted. Thank you, buddy. I am using the THU from Overloud. That's what I'm using right now with a 5150. I'm kind of going for an Eddie sound, if you couldn't tell. And yeah, just having some fun with it. Anyone know it? Oh, nice. Before I even ask. That's how I tell people I'm sad, by the way. I just go into a room and start going. I hope you guys get that joke. Let's see. Yeah. All right. What happened to the Hotel California and other artist styles video? Yeah. Got taken down with a copy strike. I was given a copy strike where I could lose my channel for copy strikes. And it really annoyed me because when you upload a video to YouTube, it tells you if there's copyright material, and then it tells you if you're not able to monetize it, which, by the way, a lot of the covers I post are not able to be monetized. I did a Paul Gilbert cover a couple weeks ago now. I wouldn't get a penny from that just because, and that's totally fine. I think that's fair. I'm posting, like, you know, his music. And then sometimes, like the Sultans of Shred video, it's monetized in a sharing way, so I get some of the money, which is totally great. I think that's like more than fair, and that's awesome. The Hotel California one was sharing for like a year, and then it was taken down with a copyright strike. And it's so annoying because it's still live on TikTok. It's still going on TikTok nice and strong. But yeah, it's so, I think it's dumb to, you know, punish creators, especially, you know, I'm not uploading a video of the Eagles live playing their stuff. Like I'm doing my own rendition of the song, clearly. And yet it's you know, and if anything, like, I I know this sounds silly to say about Hotel California because it's one of the most popular songs ever, but it's also a song that's like, over 40 years old. And so it is, keeping that, not me personally, but like people on YouTube covering it is a way to keep the song relevant and alive and streaming well and selling well and all that kind of stuff. So to punish people for, it's just so silly to me, right? So, and again, I'm not against, not making money off of a cover. I think that's totally fair. Um, but yeah, to punish or to give copyright strikes, like, because also, by the way, I had a AC/DC one removed. I did Back in Black. It got removed, but no copyright strike. So it just it gets taken down. All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But to strike, to punish the creators, just it's too much to me, right? Am I friends with Pete Thorne? I am not. I love Pete Thorne. I think his playing is amazing. He's also a fellow Canadian. I think he lives in LA now, but he's a Canadian. I would love to collaborate with Pete, or do an interview with him, like get to know him, chat with him. I am trying to do that more this year, do more collaborations. You guys probably saw my video with Roy Ziv, the incredible Roy Ziv. Insane player. That guy is also like the nicest guy ever. He was so gracious and generous and everything, with his time and everything. He was as cool as could be. So it was nice. I felt like we became friends within a couple hours that day. And I'd love to meet Pete Thorne. I think he's awesome. So yeah, maybe soon. Maybe I'll have a way to reach out to him. Would you do any Eric Johnson covers? Absolutely. I did the intro for Cliffs of Dover years ago, like 2 years ago or something like that. Don't put me on the spot now to play it though. But I love Eric Johnson. I think his what is it? Right? Manhattan. It's so good. Yeah, again, don't put me on the spot to remember this stuff, but that's the shred version. Or that's a dumb thing to say, not the shred version of Cliffs of Dover, but you know what I mean, like the 80s version. Forget it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Racer X is covered. That's kind of what I was trying to say. Yeah. That'd be funny. I guarantee if I posted that, I'd just get ripped apart. The, the parodies of Cliff of Dover, but incredible, incredible song. Yeah, so I do still teach 5 days a week and stuff like that, but the majority of the students are ones who have been with me for years. I haven't actually accepted new students in a while just because the schedule, believe it or not, up until like February, I was teaching 6 days a week, and I was just doing, and that's on top of YouTube and Patreon and TikTok and everything, and it just got way too much. So I was able to clear a day without anyone losing their spot, which was nice. And then I have like a waiting list of if spots open up, then, they get notified and everything. But that's why I started the Patreon page, was to be able to, I post weekly lesson videos there, and I, chat. There's a Patreon chat, which is awesome. And also I reply to all the comments and take lesson requests, and like people can reach me directly easily on there and everything. So that's why I started the Patreon, is to be able to kind of reach a bigger audience with the teaching versus, just the day-to-day one-on-one lessons. But yeah, so definitely, check out the Patreon if you guys are interested. I always like to provide value on there. So, always reach out directly, ask for lesson content, all that kind of stuff. How long have I been playing guitar? This question always makes me feel super old. I started really young. I started when I'm 34, and I started when I don't know, 8, I think. I'm fairly certain it was my 8th birthday. I got my first guitar from my grandfather, which was really awesome. So obviously that's a long time. Yeah, 26 years. Am I right about that? Yeah. Damn, that's a long time. But yeah, so long time. Would love to see you cover Guthrie Govan's section of the River of Long. Man, I need to check that out. I don't even know if I've actually heard that, surprisingly, which is, I don't know how that happened, but I will check that out, and I will see if I can cover it. That I will not guarantee or promise to cover a Guthrie Govan song or section before hearing it. Nope. But I will check it out. That would be super cool. Awesome Cemetery Gates solo. Thank you. Did you break any of the crazy legato runs with a metronome, or did you just go for feel? Feel for that one. Yeah. Yeah, that one. I didn't use a metronome for any of it, actually. I don't think Dime would have. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would have. So, I kind of just felt my way through that. Could you play the Trooper? Seven-string version. You and the Do inspired me to play guitar. Man, that's insane. That's so cool. He's an insane player, whoever he is. I don't know if like people know, or if he's like, if that cat's out of the bag, but thank you. I am, very grateful to be included in that company, but also thank you so much if I've inspired you to play the guitar. Like that's the number one goal, is to celebrate the guitar on the channel with everybody, whether you're new to the guitar or you play professionally, or no matter what styles you like. It doesn't matter, right? We're all just here to have fun, enjoy the guitar, and have fun playing this awesome instrument, the best instrument in my opinion. Can we hear some Paul Gilbert string skipping? I feel like hopefully everyone's not tired of hearing that yet. I've done a lot of that. Oh man. I'm taking too many breaks in between, and then my hand gets stiff, and then I'm like trying to go straight into that. It's too much. My fault, not you guys requesting it, but my fault. Oh man, it's 1 a.m. where you are. I totally appreciate it. This was the trouble with finding a time, but thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting, and yeah, hopefully we'll do more of these as well. Now I want to, now that I got the setup and everything like that. So thank you. We will definitely do more, and earlier in the day as well. The Paul Gilbert lick you just did, can you show me your picking hand, please? Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure if you guys, I'm trying to stay close to the mic, but I'm not sure if you can see. Oh, which one did I do? That one's tricky. Paul legato's a lot of it, actually. But my right hand kind of takes over, and I want to pick most of it, and so it's tricky to restrain it and to legato it. Could you play Shoot to Thrill? Oh, darn. Did it. So good. Oh man, The Art of Guitar. I love his stuff. I feel like him and I are a little bit similar in the sense that like we both taught or still teach and have kind of similar views and, you know, a fun way of teaching and stuff like that. So it'd be so cool to connect with him. That's a great idea. I will see if I can reach out to him some way. His channel's awesome. His playing's awesome. I love like his stories and everything. He seems like a super cool guy. Man, anyone taking off, I appreciate that it's late in a lot of places, but thank you for joining the chat, and thank you for all the questions and everything. It's a lot of fun to hang out with you guys. So I totally understand, but thank you for joining. If you had to have a call to be a stand-in guitarist for a band, who would it be? Yeah, it's funny. So, you know, years ago, over 10 years ago, I did that. That was what I did. Session work and playing in bands and, you know, touring and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of got a little tired of it in some ways. Like there's a lot of benefits and pros to it, but there's also a lot of waiting around during the day for sound check and killing time and nothing to do. And you know, if it's a session gig, you know, it can be hard when you're playing music that you didn't write and it's not really your passion and stuff. Unfortunately, it can easily become a job sometimes. So I have that discussion sometimes with friends of like, you know, but if so and so called, who would you go on tour with? Number one answer, obviously, Paul McCartney. I always joke that if Paul McCartney was like, "Hey, would you be my guitar player?" I would pay him to be his guitar player. To go on stage and play Beatles music every night with a Beatle, I would pay to have that gig. That would be amazing. That would be so cool. Who else? Like, I do want to get back into, like, that's also why I'm putting together some original music now, is because I want to get back into doing live performances again and clinics and stuff like that. And I have some stuff in the works for that. But obviously, you know, if I'm doing it my way and playing the music that I'm writing, it's obviously not a job, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun and be awesome. So I am looking forward to getting back to doing that. But who else would I would probably play guitar for like a lot of bands nowadays, but oh, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think of, like, you know, some of my idols of who I would say yes to, but I'd be sweating trying not to overplay. True, but I would have so much fun playing the Beatles stuff, like, you know, note for note and obviously the wrong tone. If Eddie Van Halen played for the Beatles. Oh, okay. So monuments. It's funny. I actually just saw some videos of John Brown recently. I did not know that was the guitar player for Monuments. That makes sense. Yeah, I should have put that together. I've heard of Monuments. I've probably heard some of their music, but I've seen John Brown. He's a crazy guitar player, so that makes more sense. Yeah, I should check out their music. You're absolutely right. Oh no, sorry. It's seventh string. What is the shred song in the What Average People? Oh, the shred, yeah, because the second one is More Than Words. Sorry, no, what am I saying? To Be With You. Wrong band. Oh darn it, I'm forgetting everything tonight. This is crazy. Great song. The first one, that was just my impression of Paul Gilbert. That wasn't a specific thing. That was just kind of like I did earlier in the stream, like a what would Paul Gilbert play type thing. That's what it was. Oh man, Derek, what is up, buddy? Derek is a friend from like elementary school. Holy crap. And that is a great question to it would be actually, that's a great question to like maybe even like remaster it, like have it professionally mastered and stuff like that, because I always did all the producing, mixing, and all that kind of stuff for that music. So that would be really cool. And I did take it down off of like streaming stuff years ago, just when I was kind of inactive with that stuff. So it would be kind of cool to share that. And yeah, man, that's I did a little EP when I was 21, I think, and it was 5 songs, and it was really, really fun project because I wrote a song each day. So the EP was done in 5 days, and it was one song per day. And it kind of puts a crazy restriction on you that you have to come up with something. But I was really happy with what came out, so it would be fun to share that with you guys. Absolutely. Do you ever consider yourself? I thought you were asking if I would cover it. Man, that would be I don't know if you'd get in trouble for that. That would be a cool T-shirt, just Atomic Punk. That'd be awesome. Favorite John Petrucci Dream Theater riff? There's so many. I like some of the older stuff. I like the album Awake. I like the song Lie. Lie is awesome. I'm kind of going by ear and bad memory, so I don't even know if that's it. But that song is really cool. Also, stuff off of Metropolis 2, like Fatal Tragedy is awesome. I love Fatal Tragedy. I do like Tool. Tool's, yeah, awesome. I don't usually play a lot of their stuff. The Pot is one of my favorite songs. I love the riffs in that, the timing, everything is just so cool. They're a wicked band, of course. Yeah, that is Awake is where John Petrucci showed what a 7-string can do. Absolutely, 100%. It's so funny to me that Steve Vai was pretty instrumental in like I don't want to say creating, because there were 7-string guitars out there, but like Steve Vai basically put the 7-string together for the Universe with Ibanez, and then used it on like 2 songs and never touched it again. It was always like, what? you basically created this crazy instrument, and then bands like Korn and Dream Theater and all these bands like really took it and ran with it. But like, man, and then also when Steve Vai uses it, like he does it in an amazing way. He needs to do more of it. I don't understand why he doesn't come up with more 7-string songs, because the ones he does use it for are amazing. You know what? I don't know a lot of Max Webster, and I know, you know what's funny? This is crazy, but I know Kim Mitchell more from Q107 than I do radio station here in Toronto, than I do like his music. I know some of the songs, obviously, like I've heard them, but I couldn't tell you his catalog at all. Feel like a guilty Canadian saying that. If you could have any drummer, first of all, so it's funny that you say that, because again, putting together some original music recently, I reached out to my old drummer, who again I haven't played in a band for years, just because I was teaching and kind of out of the loop, but the content stuff is getting me back into that. So I reached out to him saying, hey man, it's been a long time and everything, but any chance you'd want to play on this music and get in on this? And he was like, absolutely. Like the answer is always yes. And I was like, oh man, like that's so cool. I was so happy, because to answer your question, he is an insane drummer, like insane drummer. Any band he plays for, he's a session guy, and every single week he's playing for like 2 or 3 different bands, and he can be in a metal gig one night and then a jazz gig the next night and fit perfectly. And the guy's like unbelievable. So he actually is one of my choices. But if it were someone else, my favorite drummer for sure is Mike Portnoy. If I could jam with any drummer, I would do anything to jam with Mike Portnoy. That would be insane. And yes, he has the technical ability, obviously, but he has the personality, and he has that like fiery, fun passion when he plays, and that to me is the most important thing, especially for drums, because like it's really what you put into it. Obviously, guitar as well, but just I love listening to Mike Portnoy play the drums always. Yeah. I have not heard of First Fragment. I should check them out. Have you seen Matteo Mancuso? That guy's absolutely insane. That guy is absolutely insane. He's also super young. I swear he's like early 20s, if not like really early 20s, if I'm not mistaken. His whole, technique with the fingers and everything, insane. Very clean, very articulate. Yeah, incredible player, especially when you're getting the praises of, Steve Vai and Aldi Meola was talking about him recently. I'm trying to remember who else, but like, yeah, crazy guitar player. Icy Portnoy is the Ringo Starr of prog metal. He plays where it matters, but also doesn't overcomplicate time signatures and dumbs it down overall. I totally agree. And what's funny is Ringo Starr, like a lot of drummers, he's like their favorite drummer, but again, people like to rag on him the same way that they rag on Jimmy Page. But Ringo is one of the very few drummers that I can think of that came up with classic drum riffs. When you listen to Ticket to Ride and you listen to what's the other one I'm thinking of that I always love, and of course I'm gonna go blank. Yeah, Ticket to Ride, and I'm forgetting the other one, but like Come Together. That intro is the drum riff. Like yes, that's cool, but the drum riff is the riff of that song. There's not too many drummers. There's not too many drummers that have like drum riffs like that are as iconic as like guitar riffs. And especially for the Beatles stuff, like he could have just laid down a simple 4/4 beat to like anything that John and Paul wrote, and yet he didn't. It was always like a way more interesting drum pattern. So yeah, he deserves a lot more credit. I've heard of the Human Abstract. I've never I've never listened to them. I've heard of them. This tone, I'm still on the same tone that I've been using this whole time. I just put to the fourth position, splitting the humbuckers. Roll down the volume a little bit and you get this nice Hendrixy. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yeah. I can't use my thumb on a 7-string. It's gonna be. Anyone know it? Something like that. Yeah. I swear it's Josh getting the songs every single time. Guy's a jukebox. Can you make a close-up to your grip? I'm feeling stuck in my speed, and I don't know if it could be my grip. So I will show you, but check out my recent Patreon video. As I mentioned earlier in this one, someone asked about my picking in slow motion, and that's exactly what the video is this week for. And you can sign up to Patreon for a 7-day free trial to check it out, and you can check out all the lesson videos. But that's exactly what we did. Was we slowed down a close-up view of my picking, and it was really cool to see. Now with gripping and stuff like it, don't be afraid to do things your own way, as I mentioned earlier. I typically have like a little bit, if the pick is flat to the string like this, I'm typically kind of tilting it forward a little bit. Some people even tilt it back. You'll see them pick like this, and maybe not that exaggerated, but just kind of attacking the pick backwards. I kind of go the other way. You can see I'm kind of like leaning forward into it. It just creates like a little less tension through the string so that you can go through it easier. See, that's the thing with great tone, which I feel like, right now this tone is awesome. It inspires, right? Like it just makes you want to play. And that's how I come up with any of my musical ideas. I just sit and jam and I just keep playing. And then once you stumble onto something that you like the sound of, you just keep, tweak that. And what if I change that? Or, and then obviously you want to try to remember it. So, yeah, it's just, sit and jam, but find that kind of sweet tone. It's all about the tone, man. I'm using this is like a big ad for the THU by Overloud, which like I'm not actually affiliated with them. I've done a demo for them, but that's what I'm using for my tone is the THU Overloud right now. Using a 5150 with some effects on it. Do you consider now? Unfortunately, guys, I do have to get going soon in a couple minutes here, but Do you consider music theory when writing music? That is a great question. So, as someone who studied music his whole life and has gone to school for music and all that kind of stuff, honestly, sometimes it can be hard to turn that off. Sometimes it can be hard. Like, I do think when writing music, when it comes to songwriting, anything goes. If you want to write a song where the notes just keep ascending, and you make that work and you put a melody to it, then that will work. Like, so it doesn't have to be in a scale or anything like that. Um, but when you know the scales and you know the keys and all that kind of stuff around the fretboard, it can be hard to turn it off, right? So I do, use a lot of music theory when I'm writing, just because it's also the way I approach a lot of stuff. But when it comes to writing music, yeah, don't be afraid. I always tell students, use your ear first, and then try to figure out what you did. If you play a chord and you're like, oh, I like that chord. Like, I don't know what that is, but I like the sound of that. Figure out what it is so that you know what it is you like the sound of. So that was a major 7 chord. And then you like the sound of a major 7, and you can recreate that in other songs and use that in other ways. But use your ear first and then figure out what it is that you like. Okay, so this is kind of a funny one. Can you talk about your mindset when trying to play like Guthrie in a Sultans of Shred video? The reason this is funny, in the Sultans of Shred video, I wanted to include Guthrie because he's like one of my favorites, and I thought it would be good for the video. When I was playing like Zach, Paul Gilbert, Satch, Vi, I was doing an impression. I was doing things like for I won't remember all that now, but like for Satriani, he does that a lot, right? And then legato, of course. That's a very Satriani thing to do with like the whammy bar, all that kind of stuff. Same with Vi, some of the whammy bar, the arpeggios. It's just Vi-isms, right? It's just like stuff that he likes to do. I had such a difficult time trying to get like what is it that Guthrie does typically enough that or often enough that it's going to sound like Guthrie. So the funny thing is, that's the one guy in that video that I pretty much half just ripped off one of his solos. Like it's like that whole arpeggio section. Again, I won't remember it now. Like that whole section there was basically note for note something Guthrie actually did. And that was the only way I could get something that I'm like, okay, well, it does sound like something Guthrie would do because he did do it. The funny thing with that too is that on that video, there's lots of comments being like, oh, that sounds just like Guthrie. But then there's also tons of comments being like, sounds nothing like Guthrie. Guthrie would never play that. I'm like, he did play that. He absolutely, like, I'm not saying it was as well played, but just like, it's like, no, that actually is a Guthrie thing. So it's just kind of funny to get those comments. How many hours a day do you practice? This is a great question and a surprising one because everything I do professionally is guitar related, right? Teach guitar, YouTube, Patreon, everything is guitar related. The funny thing, or the funny and unfortunate thing is, it's surprisingly difficult for me to find the time to just play the guitar for me. A lot of time is spent editing videos and all that kind of stuff, or even emails and working on deals and things that are needing to get done. And everything is me, by the way. I don't have anyone. I have someone who helps me sometimes with transcriptions, but video editing is me, thumbnail is me, everything like is me. So then it means you have to wear a lot of hats and you have to handle the oh my God, I can't even speak at this time of night, but you get the point, like all the back end stuff. So it's also hard for me to sit with the guitar and I'll start playing and I'm like, oh, that would be a good video. that would be a good cover. I should cover that song, or that would be a funny idea. And it's like, no, you just have to just play the guitar like just for you, like just sit and play the guitar, just enjoy it, right? So that's also why I've been trying to put out more, or not put out yet, but put together some more original music, because then I'm just focusing on the music and just trying to create art, if that makes sense. As much as I love the content stuff, I absolutely love it, but it's hard to sit with the guitar uninterrupted. So yeah, it's not as much as you guys would think. And unfortunately, sometimes it's like a day or two I don't even touch the guitar, and then I come back to it and I'm a little rusty and all that kind of stuff. So I need to, like, it sounds ridiculous, but it, like, the guitar content creator needs to find time to practice each day. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. And thank you for joining. So hopefully we'll do more of these, man. You learned the Sultans of Shred by ear? Oh, man, good for you. Holy crap. That is impressive. The tabs for it are on my Patreon page. Just if you're, if anyone's wanting to try it or take a look at it, or even like, check what you came up with. But that's awesome. So good for you. Would I recommend learning an 8-string right away after 6 strings, or on a 7-string? Learn on whatever you want, really. Like if you want to play 8-string guitar, play 8-string guitar for sure. There's really no need to like go to 7 first. Obviously 6 to 8 is going to be a big jump, and it's going to feel quite different. But no, play on the guitar you want to play. The whole like, oh, you have to start on acoustic first before you can go to electric. That's a myth. That's not true. Yes, there's benefits where it can toughen up your fingers and stuff like that, but it can also discourage you if you're a total beginner and it's tougher on your fingers. So sometimes for beginners, I actually suggest starting on electric. It's a little bit easier, keeps you motivated, you keep playing. The last thing you ever want is something that discourages you, that makes you stop, right? So yeah, just play on the guitar that you would like to play. Do I write any music on piano keyboard? So I'm definitely not like, a piano player by any means, but I can like compose stuff. It's like, I don't know if I can lift this up. There's a little MIDI keyboard here on my desk that I use for composing and stuff like that. So sometimes I compose like backing tracks and musical ideas on here first, and then put guitar to it. Or, sometimes I create music that has no guitar in it, but just it's fun to put together music that you're not thinking of the guitar first. Unfortunately, guys, I do have to get going. We'll make it like another 2 or 3 minutes, but I do have to run at that time. I'm so happy that so many of you were able to join tonight. It's awesome. Thank you for everyone who's joined. Thank you for everyone who's supported the channel and gotten to this point to celebrate 200,000 subscribers. It is wild to me that we are celebrating this, that so many of you have joined and participate in the channel. So I can't thank you guys enough. I'm very, very privileged to do what I do, and to be able to do this day to day. So you guys are the best. I'm not leaving yet, like a couple more minutes, but I do have to run in like 2 or 3 minutes, unfortunately. And thank you. Yes, this is pure shred machine right here. I love this guitar. Like this, it's funny. I teach with this a lot of times too, and the students love it. Students totally dig this guitar, but it is awesome. Which video was the one that made your channel take off, and which platform is the better one? TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram? Funny enough, Instagram, I haven't had Instagram until like, I don't know, couple weeks ago. I started one just to have a page, and I've put like 2 videos up, and there's like barely any followers on there yet. Jamie Robinson Guitar, if you guys want to join. I do plan on posting more photos on there than I would post on YouTube and TikTok and stuff, of like guitars and stuff I'm doing and stuff like that. So you can always check it out. To answer your question, on YouTube, the first Oh man, I'm trying to think. The first video that really took off was the DJ Khaled one. The DJ Khaled one. And it's funny because the DJ Khaled video, I made that one night super quick before going to bed. And then I woke up, I posted it to TikTok and YouTube right before going to bed around this time. And woke up, and on TikTok, it had 1.1 million views overnight. So it just went like crazy viral. Now it has like 7 million views or something like that, which is wild. It had 7 million views on TikTok, and on YouTube, it was sitting at 4,000 views. And it just died until someone shared it on Reddit in a subreddit. I don't remember where, and it got like 100,000 views overnight. And then the YouTube algorithm noticed and then started pumping it, and now it's at like 5 million views or something like that. So anytime I hear like, creators and those guys say like, well, the algorithm, always gets it right, and if it's a good video, you'll get it. I don't think that's totally true, because that video clearly appealed to people that once it got pushed, it really took off. But it just sat there at 4,000 views and got nothing, while on TikTok it got millions, right? So TikTok, I do find, like I did on this guitar, I did a Mr. Crowley cover a couple weeks ago that you guys might have seen. On TikTok, it has like 1.6 million views just since a couple weeks ago. And on YouTube, it's maybe 100,000 views or something like that. So it's just such a huge difference. And it is YouTube Shorts as well. So it's crazy that it's like that different between the platforms. So TikTok has been good to me. Yeah. But as a Canadian, you can't monetize on TikTok other than brand deals. So YouTube, obviously, you can monetize and make more money on, right? So at least with monetization, I should say. Oh my God. I'm forgetting everything tonight. That was terrible, but what other? Oh, can you name it? Do you know it? That's yeah, I Am a Viking by Yngwie. That's my favorite riff by him, I would say. Or everyone always thinks of Yngwie as, which of course he can do that, and he's incredible. But his riffs, he's got some serious riffs. Sorry. My hands are getting tense here, or stiff, I should say. I think that's it. See, I don't economy pick like Gigvape. I forget how he does that. Reminds me of Eugene's trick bag. How's it go? Oh my god. No, I totally forget. Something like that. Oh my god. Actually, Zach knows it way better than I do. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Zach, you post a cover of you playing it, because put me to shame. All right, guys, I do have to run as well. It's getting late here, but I appreciate you guys so much for hanging with me tonight and celebrating and everything. So thanks again to everybody who's, made this possible. I really appreciate all of you. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for all your questions. And let's do this again. Let's do this. I'm definitely not going to wait till like 300,000 subscribers to do another live stream. I want to do this, every so often and just jam and chat guitar. And it's nice to connect with you guys like this. I try to, respond to comments and stuff like that, but it's always a lot more fun to do it in this way. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a terrific night, and I will see you next time.